All right, so here we are with the return of the ReaperCast. This is actually my first podcast in my new apartment and new audio setup,
Nice.
and it's strictly for Worlds format and the state of the game. I'm gonna just roll with introductions. Russell, why don't you kick us off?
Okay. Yeah, my name's Russel LaParre. I've been playing for 5 years now, I think. Sometimes I lose track. I run a website and team called Someone's PC. We are a bunch of homies that play weird decks, and then when we take it seriously, for some reason, one of us always makes top 8. Yeah, this is my fourth worlds, fifth worlds. I don't know. I missed in my first year by 15 points because I scooped a Ryan Sablehouse in the states of top 8, even though I had an auto win against him because I really wanted to get him his invite, and I didn't think I was going to get close. Then I went to nationals that year and got top 16, and then Pram locked me out in top 16 because he flip heads on his coin flips and what's it called? In his pyro deck, so that was really frustrating. But I play really obscure stuff, and then there's a running joke of me going tryhard Russ. So basically, whenever I take the format seriously and I play like a meta deck, I usually always make top 8. And I did that twice this year, so that was kind of funny. So
I wish I had tryhard Russ in me. Just make random top 8s when I take it seriously. I take it seriously, and I'm lucky to get top 256. All right. So next guest would be Morton Jr. What's up, bud?
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm a young starving artist. I'm eating penne right now. Sorry, you guys had to see that. I'm Mike Morton. I'm not currently sponsored. I'm just coming off of a top 4. I've been playing for 2 years, and I've got 2 Worlds invites. And this stuff is still fun for me, so let's go get a third one.
Nice. And my co-teammate, or however you want to say it, Clayton Fagan.
Yeah, homie.
What's up, bud?
Homie. What's up? I'm Clayton Fagan from Hot Springs, Arkansas. I've been playing for about 2.5 years. This will be my second Worlds, and I'm a part of Team Reaper TCG, and just like Russell, we're a bunch of homies, except for I don't have cool hats like this. But no, we're just a bunch of homies that, hang out and travel together some and play some Pokemon.
Nice. I'm Jesse Stuckey. I've been playing the game since Boundaries Cross, and I've been taking the game seriously for the past, 2 years, I want to say. 2 or 3 years. Have not got my Worlds invite because I am a terrible player.
Scrub.
But I do know a good bit about the game. Enough to hold a conversation. First question.
You're also judge.
Yeah, I can still judge. I am one of those. I do want to break it off with an icebreaker, though. How do y'all like y'all steak?
Medium.
That's my boy.
Medium rare.
That's also my boy.
Rare, medium rare.
Okay, we don't have any
feeling.
well done. Thank God.
That's so likes the steak well done.
Yo, chill, man. That guy loves
He got
stuff.
he got an $80 steak well done. I was like, I'm gonna throw this at your face.
I would have.
He made all of us mad. We took a video of it and snapped it.
But while we're on this, why does he have an obsession with ketchup?
It's different.
What do you mean it's different?
He's actually scared of blood. He's terrified of it, so that's why he doesn't get it rare, because he can't see the pink. I'm not joking at all. That's 100% his reasoning. And I was like, yo, you're childish.
But I mean, it's also not blood, though.
I know, but it's in his head. That's all he needs.
Oh, okay, fair
It's
enough.
just thick blood.
The science of it is, that's just another thing.
All right, so Worlds format, post rotation. Do y'all feel like the game has slowed down or kept pace?
This game has come to a screeching halt. Like, they literally just high diff the entire format. Everybody except for the people on day 2 are scrambling, trying to figure out what in the world is going on. And the people on day 2 are just like, I'm so lucky that I don't have to play day 1, and I can see whatever trash these guys came up with and might possibly have a counter for this. And if I don't, I'll just play whatever did the best, because they get to look around and look at all of us Scooby-Dooing the whole shebang together. I don't know what.
I love your explanation.
So laughable.
So Mike obviously has no idea what he's playing.
Oh God, no! Like, if God came down and said, "Here's the 60," I would be like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" I'm about to doubt you just a little bit. Like, he can literally put it into my quivering hands, and I'm just gonna be like, "Yo, I'm not sure this beats Malamar."
But see, like, all right, with Malamar, like, I've seen people say, like, it's still inconsistent, which is weird, because it has the most search, but I guess because it has the most moving parts, it still stumbles on itself.
I mean, when you're running 4 Lilies and 4 Cynthias, you still have the possibility of running into 4 Psychic Energies in your hand. I mean, that's just a Malamar thing.
I feel that. Russ has his deck locked in. What's your insight on it?
I really like the format. I think the only thing that's skillless is the mirror matches. I enjoy the fact that we have gust effects regulated to the point where they are. It's either custom catcher or Ninetales. I really, really like that, actually. I just don't like the fact that some decks can just use custom catcher in so much of like smoother fashion than others, and that's due to a fault to a lack of deck search. So
Exactly.
like if they let non-GXs or like any kind of deck outside of Dragon, Psychic, and Lightning actually operate on a means to search out their basics or search out their evolutions, then I think we'd be in like one of the best formats we've had in years. At least in my lifetime of playing, besides BCR. I think BCR, like when I originally started playing, it was like the Virizion Genesect, Darkrai era. I think that was like the best format I've ever played
It
in
was
yet.
a really fun format.
So they should have gave us Nest Ball. They should have kept Ultra Ball. They should have done something where we should have been able to search out our stage 1s and stage 2s consistently. And I think we would have had like one of the best formats in years. In doing so, Malamar and Pikarom have kind of taken like hold as like the top 2 decks most people are playing, and due to consistency, even though I think Malamar is just not as consistent as it can be. At least mine. I will not play that deck for the life of me, and I hope everyone does play it against me at Worlds. So
I agree with Russ, and I think that unfortunately, even like single prize attackers are kind of going by the wayside. It's obvious that Pokemon wants us to play these giant tag teams, and they give us Cherish Ball. They got rid of all the search for any kind of baby Pokemon at all, unless you're playing Malamar. I mean, even Lightning, they have electromagnetic radar, so you can search out the Nene and your Pikaroms and stuff. So, I just aside from that, I think everything, like, I kind of like where everything's going. No Guzmas, that's pretty good. The Marshadow going away is tops, if you ask me. Got a League Cup this weekend. I can't wait to get turn 1 let loose one more time.
I'm actually avoiding that cup specifically because I'm so tired of standard that I'm going to one that's an expanded.
You're going an hour further just so you can go.
I'm going 2 hours further to play expanded.
Oh, 2 hours.
So you can get Let Loose, Toad Punch, and Vileplumed, or you can get Beast or Karen out of the game. That's super smart. I mean, at least you're actually prepared for it, though.
Yeah. I like expanded. That's actually my favorite format. I know it's weird for people to hear that, but I love expanded.
Expanded used to be my favorite format until I bombed 3 expanded regionals this year.
And I day 2'd every expanded regional I went to this year. So it was the opposite.
I got points at every expanded regional I went to, so there's that.
I made top 8 at 2 out of the 3.
There you go, yeah.
There you go.
However, like I will say, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't think, or actually, I thought on turn 1. I played Archie's toys. I did a little bit of
That's all you can do.
maybe we can just trade testing circles. I'll take your expanded testing circles, and you'll take my standard ones.
Yeah, Russell sat beside me in round one.
I don't test throughout the year.
Russell sat beside me in round 1 in Dallas and watched me get slapped by an Archie's. I was like, all right, cool. But all right. So, what are y'all's top 4 picks going into Worlds? Like, top 3's hard, top 4 is doable.
So, like the best 4 decks, or like the best decks we think we're going to play.
The top 4 best decks that you think are out there.
So, the best deck is probably Shedinja. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's literally the best deck.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, whether you can win the game in 50 minutes or not.
Yeah,
Mind you,
Ninja
everybody's
has like a mill, right?
exactly. Yeah, it's control. It's the best deck if you know what you're doing. If you don't, then it's probably Pikarom, then Malamar, then some one prize deck that somehow doesn't lose to Sky Scorching Light. That's the best 4 decks in that order.
I'm gonna disagree with the Shedinja. I think it's garbage, and I think it just loses to too much stuff. I don't think that. I mean, if you don't tech for it, obviously it's gonna beat you. But I think Pikarom, without a doubt, is number 1. Malamar variants, either the Ultra or just the Psychic. It's so consistent. It's hard to not be tops with it. Reshazard Greens, I think, is it's got so much healing. It's hard to get up there and get it, one shot. So I think that it's probably number 3. And man, I really like the Whimsicott. I like Whimsicott.
All right, I'll be real with you. I love Whimsicott too. Like, I have it prepped and ready to go.
I don't think I'll play it.
Is this a thing? Is Whimsicott really a thing?
Yeah, like, okay.
Thing.
All right, Pikarom has to play Lysander Labs. Like, it has to play it. Otherwise, Whimsicott can just overroll it.
But I think it already does that. Is my problem.
Is that you think Whimsicott already does it?
No, I think Pikarom already plays Labs.
Yeah.
From the list that I've seen, it plays 1 to 2.
You just play 2.
I feel like if they can get their, if Whimsicott can get their supporters out, or not supporters, their stadiums out, I think it has a shot. That being said,
why is it for the charms? Is that why?
The charms, yeah.
Why don't I just use Mewtwo?
The charms and the ability, yeah, Mewtwo.
I'll get their ability. You can't flip them any heads. If you are, then I'll just accept the matchup against anything I play against. It's not really Whimsicott beating me. It's just my opponent flipping heads.
Yeah.
I think it's not. It's just like, I mean, like what that could beat that? Is there any do you want me to play Labs plus Power Plants?
Power Plants.
Yeah.
Like it's just inefficient. And then like, what if I just custom catcher up your basic and KO it, and then you go into Big Guardy, and then I Mewtwo KO the Guardy.
Yeah.
Like it just seems very like wonky, and I mean this is obviously why I'm saying Pikarom's number 1 on my list.
Yeah. Well, I think we all agree with that, right? We all agree Pikarom's number 1.
Pikarom is number 1.
Yeah. I would 100% say that.
The only thing that I've seen in like testing is that like if people don't roll you in like the first 2 turns, then like they have hands just full of energy and they don't do anything, and then they just lose that game. But if they roll you in the first 2 turns, then they just win every game. It's just there's no way to come back from it. It's either very good or very bad.
Yeah, Whimsicott is definitely a high roll deck, and if you can, sweet, you're going to go to day 2 with that. But you have to high roll it. It's definitely a run hot deck. I'll say that.
All the decks in this format are high roll decks, except for maybe Malamar.
I feel like Pikarom though is just you can just do Pikarom things. Yeah,
exactly. It's just like Rayquaza from last year's Worlds.
Yeah. What are y'all's thoughts on Rayquaza in both Pikarom and Darkbox? Speaking of which.
I feel like that's a free 2 prizes. But I mean, accelerating that 1 energy to the board, I don't know if it's worth it. Milling the 3 resources that you don't get to control. I mean, I'm I'm not the guy because I don't know. I've never played Rayquaza. I actually own 3, and I just thought about him yesterday because I looked at them yesterday. I was like, maybe I want to play this expanded cup tomorrow. And then I was just like, I definitely need 4 because my boy Jose was just like, yo, here's the list, and I'm just like.
I bought a playset of full arts when they first came out, and I think I've used them once. So
Nice.
yeah, oops.
I got all 4 of mine for a steal at Santa Clara because like it was right after Jose won Hartford, but right before they could do anything about the price of them. So I was just like, I'll take this 4 playset for like $20.
Speaking of Santa Clara, you top 4'd Santa Clara with Zapdos Beast, but you didn't mention that as your top 4. Is it? It's done, isn't it?
Zapdos is dead.
It's done. Yeah.
Yeah, Zapdos is super dead. You can't target any Pokemon.
Yeah.
Guzma rotating out killed that deck 100%.
Yeah, it did.
Good.
Yep.
But I was actually talking with a friend about this deck the other day. Even if they were to have kept a solid Gust outside of Custom Catcher that you could use more than twice a game, then Zapdos would be overpowered in this format. Because a lot of times in testing, a lot of people don't get out of their first hand well. Most of them start with 1 to 2 Pokemon, and they pray for a draw supporter in their next turn, or a setup supporter of some sort. And Zapdos literally just bodies decks like that. So there's no reason for that kind of archetype to exist.
Like, I have mixed feelings on Guzma rotating because, like, it's such a good card. But man, I'm so glad it's rotating at the same time. Just because it was overpowered.
I think it definitely needed to rotate because it literally took special conditions out of the game. So there was no actual reason for us to keep it, especially when special conditions are actually a great part of this format. I appreciate that.
Yeah, like Slumbering Forest got put in this set, and the flip 2 heads, or flip 2 coins if one's tails, you're still asleep. That's so good. Like,
Yeah, I've been hitting a lot of that Breloom online. I don't like it. It's annoying. Flip 2 heads.
I high-key want to build Breloom. I want to see how that works.
I think the card works better in Behemoth, honestly.
Yeah.
In what?
I think Guzma was the worst card design that they ever made in like probably 6 to 7 years. I think that card should not have existed. I think they overstepped their bounds in order to get off of a gimmick with Golisopod, to kind of incorporate that concept of like, here's his buddy, and here's this like clearly they want you to push the trainer plus the Pokemon of like their life or whatever, which is why they printed all those cards in the next set.
Yeah.
In Japan, where it's like all the little buddy, and that's when they ran wild with it. When they're like, "Oh, we're gonna have Guzma switch out, and it's gonna be fun because you can use your Golisopod with it." And they didn't realize they just broke the format of every single like format for the next 3 years. It's just the stupidity like that goes into the R&D just doesn't like it. It astounds me that it gets past testing. So
Yeah,
like,
I feel like Lysander was completely balanced.
100%.
Like,
Still imbalanced, but overpowered, but not imbalanced. Does that make sense? It's tier 1, but it's not like Meta Knight Brawl where you couldn't play the game.
Yeah,
Right. It's like it was good, but like it wasn't like, wow, all right, ban this character.
like the fact that it took your supporter
I mean,
slot. Because I played during Pokemon Catcher when it wasn't a flip effect. Like,
that
oof.
card was busted.
Yeah.
I didn't even play in that format, and I think an older player had told me about that, and I was like, yo, why is this common, like, almost $17? Like, they said that it was, like, that's how much it used to cost.
Yeah, like, I would pick them up at $20 a piece, and that was during Mewtwo Wars too. Like, if your Mewtwo had a DCE on it, well, it's getting slapped.
That sounds really bad.
It was terrible, but it was also really fun.
Yeah.
Let's see, what
But
other...
I think you asked about Rayquaza and Dark Box. You don't have the bench space for that. Don't do that. If you don't hit it early, there's no point in doing it. If you're gonna play Mysterious Treasure, so you can be like, oh, I can go find it. Just go grab a Naga or a Poiple. That way you can retreat into it, though you can protect your turn 1 Sneasel and just sacrifice a Poiple to their attack. No one wants to waste Custom Catcher to swing at a setup Pokemon on turn 1 unless it's going to be really, really critical. And that's what I'm noticing a lot, like in random testing games and Fight Club. No offense to people if you're in Fight Club and I might have played you. I've seen a lot of misplays. I don't say anything because I'm not coaching you, and so
That's $30 an hour right there.
Like the best feeling about Fight Club is like when I get through and I see the consistency in my deck or like theirs, and like we'll talk afterwards sometimes like, oh, like what do you have in your list? And I'm like, oh, I have 4 of this, do this, and I'm like, oh, I don't like that. No wonder you lost. And then like there's sometimes where I'm like, wow, I drew really badly, or like, wow, I hit the perfect hand, but I'm still struggling here. If he does this, this, and this, he wins automatically, and he doesn't do it. And I'm like, sweet, now I get to win. But we're gonna chalk this up as a loss in my head, and that's like the most value I got out of Fight Club. If you guys don't know, there's a Facebook group called Pokemon Fight Club where we kind of hit everybody up on PTC Go and Untap In, but now PTC Go because the cards finally came out, and Skype testing. I played a bunch of games on there just to try and get some of my early ideas out of my head. And the number one idea I was testing was Dark Box, and it took me a week and a half, 2 weeks to give up on it. So I'd say that's fairly quick for how I am with decks I'm in love with. And I did not love this deck because it did not love me.
Is that just like a one-sided thing, or are you just
I think that's half of Pokemon too.
Yeah.
Like most people just like they'll come up with a list and they really like it, and it's like their tournament depends on how well the list likes them. Honestly,
it's Clayton with fighting.
Yeah,
people just don't respect it, but I did. Like I'll be like, all right, you're about to get this. I was like, dude, I got like Zerosic and Field Blower. These focus asses are gone, bro. Volcanic Prism, the whole game's over, and people just didn't respect that. So if you it's not like you're getting lucky because you hit the perfect like tournament. It's more so like you made that great call and you did what everyone else wasn't willing to do, and your placement will come of it. But the thing about it is those decks don't win. They don't take home the W. They make top 8. They make top 4. They don't take home the dub. And when they do, outside forces have influence. like something must have happened somewhere where someone cheated, and that's why that's why it went into effect. And that's like more that speaks towards like overall tier list and metagame discussion, which is why when we talk about like our top 4 decks, it's like here's what's number 1, here's what's number 2, and here's my play. And it's nothing like anyone else's, and I'm not gonna win the tournament with it. Boy, am I gonna style and like are we gonna give us like Twitch clips with it.
That's big facts.
Yeah.
Because literally, like we all said, it was like Pikarom 1, then Malamar 2nd, and then whatever Hoopity Hoopla doesn't lose to Ultra Necrozma is probably what I'm playing.
Like, definitely feel like it's Pikarom, Malamar. I don't know where Dark Box fits in there, like 3 or 4, and something else like that I just haven't seen.
Why are y'all sleeping on Reshizard though?
It's Blounds.
Blounds with Reshi.
Blounds is better. Like
Literally just Blounds.
Blounds is definitely 3. I almost picked up a set of Blounds because I don't like losing. So.
My girlfriend for the past month is like, I really want to build Blounds. Like, I just want to build Blounds, and I'm like, I feel you. Let's build it.
Yeah. So you're gonna throw in that Tapu Fini that you can't search for?
Facts.
I feel like back on the discussion on respecting it, I feel like you have to. Like, Blounds is going to be there. I feel like it deserves a spot.
Man, you either beat it or you don't. You can't tech for everything.
You can't tech.
Or Russell can. Russ can tech for everything.
No. If I played a deck that had a tough matchup to Blounds, I'd 100% play Tapu Fini.
Yep. Gotcha.
And I wouldn't want to walk into Worlds day 1 taking an awkward Blounds matchup. So yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't tell my play. So like number one's Pikarom. In terms of overall deck power, number 1's Pikarom, number 2's Blounds or Reshizard. I put them in the same category.
The Kika list.
Yeah, and then number 3 is probably a Mally variant, and then number 4, which I'm playing for Worlds, is Aerodactyl.
Aerodactyl, ooh.
So
don't sleep on the fossils, bro.
So no one knows how to build this deck correctly, and I honestly don't care. And there's sometimes I spent like messaging people about it and like talking to them about lists, but I can clearly tell from the people who actually test ideas versus those who like just know how to regurgitate like the same jargon that other top players say on like their podcasts or like online on Hey Fonte or like some kind of opinion that they're giving, where they're just kind of copying and pasting their response. And they might be play testing, but what they get out of playtesting isn't actual value towards like wins and losses or like what tech should be added. It's more so of like, I like when I played this and I felt really good drawing it, and instead of like really hard dedicated testing. And with such like a rogue idea like Aerodactyl, I will honestly tell you, if I sent everyone the list, you would have to Google 7 or 8 cards. And that's how much like time I took into this, and I kind of came down to the fact that like, as egotistical as it sounds, if I played Pika-Rom or Mali or Blounds, I'll just copy paste one of my friends' list who I trust, because if they're gonna end up playing meta and I back off of Aerodactyl, then I'm playing their deck and I can probably play it a little bit under just as efficiently as they can with their list, but enough to get me through day one. Because it's honestly not that hard, at least when I took it seriously. Last Worlds I played Sceptile. Or last Worlds I played Buzzrock, and that was horrible. Because I played 5 mirror matches. I won 2, tied 1, and then lost 2. And that was not fun at all. And I also thought the Buzzrock was the best deck in the format. So.
But it lost to Zoro Garb.
I mean, it wasn't a dude who... Did a dude like make finals who cheated or something? He got banned, didn't even get his money?
Yeah, he did.
Come on now. It doesn't matter. But like, regardless, I think the logic I ran with was I know how to build rogue decks a lot better than most other people, and I just overcomplicated with tech, and in doing so, I like cloud my own judgment of my actual testing, and I wanted to take it seriously this year, so I just made sure I've put in like at least like 55 games with Aerodactyl, probably more now. So I've definitely played like 10, 12 more games since I thought about how I was already at 55.
Nice.
And I'll just copy paste someone else's meta deck if I want to go that route.
Yeah.
So
That seems fair. Yeah. Aerodactyl seems really good. It cuts.
So that just blows up Pika-Rom.
Yeah, absolutely.
For exact damage.
yeah.
So,
Unless they play like Choice Helmet or something.
what are y'all's feelings on switching decks on day 2? Like, you played through day 1, got to day 2. Are you switching decks or are you rocking it?
It depends. It depends on what the testing circle like has come up with, and if it's absolute gas and nobody saw it on day 1, then I'm definitely playing it. It's all about exposure, honestly. Like if I know the play is gas and I know that they haven't seen it, I'm definitely playing it. Like as long as it's consistent and it works, it's getting to play.
Okay. Clayton, you made your first Worlds day 2. What are you doing?
I will probably play the same deck and maybe change a couple of cards, depending on what I see the meta looking like. If I need a tech for certain matchups that I might see more of, something like that. But I'll probably stick with the same old. And I wish last year I last minute changed my deck the night before, and that was a mistake. And I think if I would have stuck with my Beast Box, I would have ran through all the Baby Buzz Shrine decks, but I didn't. I switched to what I played, Dustmane Magnezone, which I went 4/4, but yeah. No, but I probably would just stick with my guns and maybe just change a few cards.
I feel that. Russell?
I think having the meta on current day 1, anticipation of what people are going to do to counter into day 2, actually gives you no knowledge or logic whatsoever, and that all you're going to end up doing is overstressing yourself out and overthinking a scenario that you don't need to think about. I think if I went 5-0 with my Aerodactyl deck and like just made it into day 2, that I would instantly snap play it again, and I wouldn't really care what anyone has to think, say, or do about it. And if I played a different deck and I went into day 2, I might just think I want to have fun and I want to high roll it. The Worlds I made day 2, I played Toadbats day 1, and I switched to Flygon on day 2 because that was really funny. But again, I wasn't taking that as seriously as I should be if I was in tryhard Rust mode. But I personally wouldn't let other people's influence or the knowledge that my deck is already out there influence my decisions towards what decisions they're going to be making at the same time. All it would be is, I played this through day 1, I made it out. Was this deck actually good? Did my opponents misplay against me in scenarios where I should have lost? is there any tech I want to add, or is it just inconsistent and I'm lucking out? And that's the only influence that would like have over me is my performance on day one and less about what other people are thinking, because there's so much stuff for them to think about, and they're trying to counter like Limitless and the top 16 and like this and like that, and I just don't care. And if you just run what you did and what you had day one and zone it all out, I think you're a lot better off. So.
Okay. So you're kind of on the ship of, I know what I'm doing. I know the stack. I'm doing this.
Like now that your deck's exposed, is there anything that directly counters it? If it's a deck that absolutely scoops to one card, are you willing to risk it on day two? Now that you already made it through day one with the same risks, was it like a counter that everyone's already playing, or was it like something like, let's say I'm playing Whimsicott and I get through to day two, like, are you really gonna fear people be like, oh, I saw Whimsicott, now I'm gonna throw in like stuff for this now? Like, you were one person. If it was like your whole team and you had like 10 of you and you made it day two, maybe. But if it's like just me, I'd be like, if you guys are gonna tech for just me, I'm gonna enjoy that, because like we have another 8 rounds tomorrow. And he said, yeah, I was like, that's cool, but like I wouldn't let it influence my decision unless it is that one thing. Like, I think Sedinja would be the only thing in the current format that I would actually swap if I played day one, I played Sedinja and I made it through. I would not play that into day two. That's like the only thing I would do.
Facts.
Every other deck, like if I ROM through day one and then go into day two, or what? Oh, people are gonna tech for my ROM? Like, come on now, like no one cares. Like they're already gonna do that. So what made you think day one's better than day two?
I mean, that's what I meant. Like, if I was playing something rogue on day one,
yeah,
and then it was exposed and a lot of people are talking about it, I probably wouldn't play it on day two. Because if that's what I played on day one, I probably have a better idea or something that I want to fully flesh out on day two. That nobody's seen. That's kind of what I'm doing right now.
I wish someone would be like, if they saw my Aerodactyl and then I made day two, they'd be like, all right, how are we gonna tech to beat this? Because I'd help you look for cards. I'd be like, please show me. Like literally this deck, its only issue is setting up. And I believe I've pushed its limits, as I made my Facebook post the other day. Or was it today? I don't remember. Everything's time.
I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, this was yesterday. And I was like, I'm literally pushing the limits and clouding my own judgment because of how much I like the deck and how cool I think it is that like I'm pushing the limits on which I actually should be dedicating time to this. But the fact that everyone else already has the meta decks covered for me, like, puts me at ease. And I believe in my own like personal play that I can pick up a deck and slaughter everybody and not really care about like how much time they've put testing into their deck, because it doesn't matter to me. When I made top 8 with both decks this year, with both Archistois and Zoropod, I literally didn't play a single game with either deck the night before, or the day of. I never played Archistois again ever in my life. I only played against it during testing sessions. And then I was like, Drew, is this deck hard to pilot? And he's like, you think on turn one, and then you just do Stoice things. And I was like, fine. And then that's what I did all throughout the day. I played Pod to top 8 at St. Louis last year. I didn't play a single game before that. I literally messaged Ben Pham at like 2 a.m. I was like, hey, what changed on the pod list? He's like, oh, here it is. You can change like 2 cards. And I was like, all right, I'm changing those 2 cards. Good decisions. And so like, then I made top 8 with that. And I threw in Guru when everyone told me don't. It's bad. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna play against something. And I played against Hoopa, Sylveon, and like some other stall deck that just took an auto loss to Guru. And I think it's like, go with your gut, trust yourself. I think that's one thing that like a lot of people have is like when you're in day one, you're like, I'm in Worlds, and you get super nervous, or like you think you're gonna go against like higher quality players. Maybe that's the cockiness in me, but they're not that high quality, bro. Like they're like okay, they're pretty good players.
Yeah. Here I am.
and like I hardly think about my opponents at all. It's always about the matchup. It's always about the tech that they have and what they're gonna. I could care less if I'm singing against players who I really respect, like Pram, or I'm playing against like players who literally sat down and this is my first tournament. If anything, I'll feel worse when I lose to the person that this is the first tournament. You know, so there's no fear. And besides like having a mutual respect for each other, there's not much that can go into it. And all you did to make day 2 was like, oh, I know this guy's name. Cool, he about to lose. Like right now he's in the way. Like move.
That's literally all it is. Like that's literally all it is. That's what me and Jalen have been saying for like the last 2 years. It's all about the cards on the table.
Yeah, like I used to get mad nervous anytime I played like a pro player or someone that's like known. Like first time I sat across from Pablo, I was shaking, and by the end of the match, I was like, "This is just another game. Like it's okay. Like everything's cool." He beat my ass.
It's not like they.
He beat
they
my
can't
ass.
do anything special. Like they can't do anything that you can't already do.
Yeah. Like it was just a bad matchup for me too, but I mean it was. I think that game alone set it to. It doesn't matter who's sitting across from you. Play your game.
Yeah. I talk about that, like, crazy enough, I don't want to go on a rant here. I know I've been talking for a minute, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
but, like,
No. Your rants are awesome. Do it, please.
but, like,
Kanye rant.
there's a lot
rant.
of things I have to do during coaching juniors and seniors, and that's getting them to break out of their mold, out of the current juniors and seniors that are, like, the top-ranking ones. And I believe that the young kids have more of a domination over the tournaments than masters actually do. So like DDG has like so many people and so many good players, and they like come up with these crazy lists. Like the younger players, they just have like one or two kids that just doesn't matter what they're playing, they just sauce on everybody, right? And so like sometimes if you were always that person growing up from like 12 to 16, or like even like the 17, any of that, where you're like you don't really trust in your own abilities that well, but you feel like you have the talent and the knowledge to compete, that playing against someone who's a name kind of scares you, or like it puts you in an uneasy state, or you get nervous. Getting put on stream, I can understand that. That's different. That's stage fright. That's an audience fear. But like just sitting down against like Joe Schmo versus playing against like Sam Chen or somebody, you shouldn't feel any kind of type of way. And that's I definitely spent like at least like 10 to 20 minutes with a couple of my younger students, and I'm like, why do you feel like you lose to him? He's like, I just get nervous and I mess up, and I was like, but he's human. Like he's just
another
a kid,
dude.
you know. Like come on, dog. Like you're barely behind him in points. Let's get this guy. So that's I think I say that a lot with kids, but like a lot of masters need that. They need the backup. They need the satisfaction, and that's half the time what people are looking for when I'm making posts on Heyfate, which is why I stopped doing my Q&A, because I was sick of it. I was sick of humans, sick of this community. It's like when you're asking a question and you're looking. There's a difference between asking a question and looking for validation on your current thoughts. And when you're arguing that validation in a setting in which like it's just a question, not a take an opinion on my current one, and then causing argument from it, I just want to back out. And just because you're putting unnecessarily stress on me. Like, so you're like, oh, what are your top 3 decks right now? And I'm like, Blounds, Malamar, Pikarom. Oh, I don't think Blounds is that strong. I think like from my testing, this matchup went this way. And I was like, all right, well, once I added in like 2 Zapdos and a couple of other techs into Pikarom, I haven't dropped a game to it. So honestly, I don't think it's that bad. And they're like, oh, well, I tech this, this, and this for that. And I do this, and I do this, and I do that. And I'm like, okay, cool, man. Enjoy your day. Like, leave me alone. Like if you want the opinion, you got the opinion. But when you're like trying to sit there and like argue semantics towards like tech and like this and that, it strains down the top players or someone who's actually doing the discussion where they don't want to do it anymore. And that's a hard reason why a lot of the other top players weren't partying with me on Q&As. It was just me. Rukan was there, but Rukan's so funny. He just enjoys the arguments and discussion and the analytics behind it. And not everyone can keep their like cool during all of that, nor do they want to answer that. Also, when like people go in there like ask like silly meme questions, some are funny and some like I'm just not in the mood for it that day, you know? Like maybe someone blew me up for a tournament. They're like, oh, I have so many questions, like 8 people that are like semi-friends with me, you know, like we haven't met in person, but like I know their name from Facebook and like we're homies, right? So it's like, all right, like I'll answer all your questions you got. And then I'm like, well, let me just do a Q&A. And when you try to argue your side instead of like presenting like the facts or like taking in your information, then it's better that way. At a certain point, I wanted to be like, all right, well, if you think Blounds is so much better than Pikarom right now, then like go play Blounds. Yeah. Leave me alone.
Absolutely.
Like I told you, I think Pikarom's better, and like the only argument I can get is sometimes they're like, well, maybe you're seeing it a different way than I'm seeing it, and I was like, yeah, and then most of the time that response is your opponent's trash, and like they can't like visibly see the prizes and like the way they should be conducting the matchups. And that's like the biggest thing in this format is people don't know how to retreat and not attack. they always need to swing 24/7. There's no more Guzma anymore, guys. Like there's only so much pressure your opponents can apply to you, and if they hit like double custom catcher turn 2 and turn 3, I'm scooping. I don't care what I'm playing. Like there's no way I'm gonna beat them. And so when you run into like those high roll matchups, it's just like that was the one game. He got me, dog. You know? But when it comes down to like, all right, look at how your opponent's gonna like play out their prizes. You play out yours. You can retreat. You can like body block. You can sacrifice a poi pool, and like you can turn bad hands into great ones because Guzma can't immediately snowball the game in one's favor. And not enough people are playing reset stamp. Like people are playing a one of. I have 3 in most of my lists. So I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like they're like, all right, like so if they stamp, you draw out of it. And I was like, you're making a bold assumption there, considering drawing out a stamp. I don't remember last time I did that. I just had all the energy on board. And so they're not playing the like proper win conditions, and it causes bad results, which is why I think sometimes when I see these like, oh, here's this rotation tournament that happened, 16 players showed up, Blounds came out number 1, Pigaram came out second. I was like, oh, y'all go get it. And I'm like, look at all the things. Look at all the names on the list. I see like 2 people I recognize. That's it. Like, are you gonna take that testing seriously? If I give Aerodactyl to someone else, do you think I'm gonna care about what they do with testing? I'm like, you're probably playing this horribly. But like the 4 people who I consider very good, both deck builders and players, I'll give them the list, and if they like give me input back on it, and it's like really bad, or like this is deck's trash, I'll be like, like then I might think, right? But for the most part, like when you throw like a deck at a like a top player or like even a really good player, and it's just out of the blue, what do you think? It's a lot to draw on, and I think this format above all else needs to be tested before going into those worlds. And I think a lot of people are lazy, and they're saying they're testing, and they're really not.
They're not.
They just go into their locals, and they're just doing willy-nilly and like chilling like usual, which I've done before. But I don't think this is the format for that. We're in a whole like different world with not enough search and very awkward supporter draw, where I feel like supporters aren't even that important anymore. Like when someone plays a support, I'm like, cool. Oh, Erica's for 4. All right, nice stuff. All right. Did you get custom? No. Sweet, you lost. Like it's.
Well, now that your rant is over, I have a list to send you.
Yeah.
Fun fact: during last year's Worlds, Clayton sent me his Beast Box list, and I was like, all right, cool, I'll test this. I took it to like a couple challenges, and I tested it for about a week and a half. I'm like, man, this list is ass. Don't ever play this. And he just takes it, and he's like, all right, cool. I swept like 2 or 3 cups. I sweep.
I almost top 32 at the Nashville Open. I mean, like,
yeah.
And like after I told him it's ass, like it's bad. Don't play this.
I'm not even gonna lie. Clayton sent me his Beast Box list like a week before Worlds, and I was about to play it at Worlds because I had it sleeved up, and I was like, "Yo, this is the play. There's nothing but Buzz Rock."
I know. I should have played it.
Buzz Rock, Ray, and a little bit of Zorogarb.
That's a better question, man. What made you switch? If you want to, let's go to deep dive. This is gonna be a really good podcast. What made you switch?
So what made me switch?
Are you talking about?
Talk about him. Talk about Clayton, dude.
That was his
I
baby.
don't know why he got off the deck when we go to the day 2.
So what made me switch was I just really, because it was my first Worlds, I got super nervous, started overthinking matchups, and I'm like, what is it? What is my matchup against Rayquaza? Like it's 50-50 the way I've been playing it, but like I don't know. I just got nervous and changed last minute. Took a list from Andy Gray and made a bunch. I know. Hey, look, I didn't know any better. Listen, but I made a bunch of changes. I started 3-0, ended up 4-4 with Dustmane Magnezone. It was very high roll. It was a good deck, but like it wasn't. But I feel like if I would have took Beast Box, because it just slapped Buzzwall. I mean, it slapped it, and it was everywhere I looked was Buzzwall, and I played against Buzzwall, and I'm like, oh man, I'm like, if I just had my Beast Box.
Free matchups.
Fun fact: Andy took his Dawn Wings or Dust. Whatever the
he took it in like 0-3 dropped the
he 0-4 dropped. He went the extra round.
No, and then I took Beast Box and almost top 32 with it, and so it's like, what am I doing? So yeah, I won't be doing that this year. I already know what I'm playing, and I'm not changing it. So
So we got a question from chat. What are y'all's thoughts on Keldeo GX?
Good.
It's good. You feel like it should be respected or not worry about it?
It auto launches Aerodactyl, so I don't care.
What? I guess. I mean,
you know there's a baby Aerodactyl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
it slaps.
Ew.
It hits for like
Dude,
180, don't it?
It does
I
what?
tried to break it.
It just one shots it.
It does 180 clean, boy. Clean.
If you don't have any other GXs in play.
Which would be very easy.
Yeah, because
But-
you literally don't play any until you want to.
But
You have an
I don't
that gets them out there.
I don't think anybody will be playing that card seriously at Worlds.
Keldeo?
Yes.
Oh.
Bet. Want to
Ooh.
bet? Let's bet.
Like, I don't think they're going to be playing quad Keldeo
You
at
know
Worlds.
how
That's
many
not a thing.
Europeans are coming over? You know how much they like stall, bro. That's not even like a hilarious America versus EU like judgment kind of thing. That is an objective point of view. Like that is a fact. That's like saying the Warriors are good at 3-pointers. Like it's gonna happen. Like
Well, let this guy burst my bubble. If I play against quad Keldeo, I'll be the first one to get up and say I played against quad Keldeo as loud as possible in the World's wherever event it is.
Like,
I played against,
you're gonna get kicked out. You're gonna get banned.
yo, chill. I'm not my guy, bro.
So I have a quad Keldeo list that I built.
Oh, see?
So
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna
Hold
set
on.
that down.
Trey,
Really quick.
I'm gonna leak. Tristan is playing quad Keldeo for Worlds and Juniors.
Nice.
That's a league.
I
Massive
want to say
league. All the
Richard
the
in chat has
juniors.
said Clayton is his own league. Not only are you your own league, you're your son's league.
I am. Circuitry. Somebody said circuitry.
Circuitry, my man.
Circuitry Parasect, right?
Sure what?
I don't know. It just said Circuitry's my man. I played against a Circuitry. What was it called?
Parasect.
It was
Is this the Fusion one?
last year during the Open. God, what was it? It was the Raichu that paralyzed you.
Oh.
Shocklock. I played against Shocklock in the Open.
You
last
played
year.
against standard Shocklock?
Yeah, it was that was interesting.
That sounds weird.
It
That
was-
sounds bad.
I took the W.
I thought so.
You better.
Were they playing like Limitation Sableye and stuff like that?
No, they were just doing Rangaroo things and
Oh, that's real bad. That's terrible. If they're not playing Limitation Sableye, then you just win the game.
Sounds terrible. Way.
You announce goes, but he's like, okay. And you're like,
no. What got me is I got him game 1 and he Lightning GX'd me and he took a Guzma. He hit the Guzma off of it. I'm like, all right, cool. That won't happen game 2. He did it again.
Oh man.
So yeah, there was that. But oh well, I still got the W.
Hey, nothing like getting the dub against a bad deck, right?
All right, so Pokemon announced the 500-point invite with the 8-8 split between the League Cups and League Challenges still. What are y'all's thoughts on that?
Y'all ready for rant number 2 from Russ?
Here it comes. I'll let Russ start it.
We're just gonna twist the key behind Russ's back and let him go. You got
This is just story time with Russ at this point.
it.
it is not our place as the players who can get championship points. Like it's like a local Wendy's pickup, like a nice Wendy's run at night, to judge whether or not someone should be at a World's Caliber tournament with us. It is the companies, and eventually, while I don't see it as elitist, I understand their point of view. It used to be very prestigious. It used to be, in our opinion, hard to get, and it used to not be pay to win or pay to play, which it most certainly is now. Anyone that can refute that is just ridiculous. And the fact that they lowered the points, because it was 550 this year, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so the fact that they lowered the points to help everyone out means that they want more to come, and they just want to have more people participating in tournaments, and they want more people to chase the dream. And honestly, you become that person who's like, if someone's enjoying themselves, who are you to sit there and try to like bash them on something that they're enjoying?
Yeah.
So I really like Marvel movies, and if someone's like, "Huh, comic book nerd," or like something like that, like just because someone likes something doesn't mean you have to like have an opinion on how you feel about that. You can within your own circle, but to bash them for it is just like different. And within your own circle, I mean, in the means of like-minded individuals like yourself. So because you all might have a problem with it, you can like tell your friends, and you'll be like, I know in someone's PC chat, like when they said it's 500, we're like, yo, you don't even have to travel? That's awesome. We can all save time. Like it's just much of like, let's just get it and go and get out of here, right? And I know I used to think like that in terms of like, it should be higher, it should be more prestigious. But eventually it hit me where I was just like, you know what? Like, who am I to say that he doesn't deserve to be there? Just because I think I deserve to be there along with a couple of others. So 500's fine. Travel all you want. Go get your tournament. Go get your money. If you think it's worth it to chase top 16 by then, all means. Go crazy. I enjoy my weekends and having friends and drinking and doing cozy things. Like, just
literally anything else.
Playing Pokemon Go.
Working out. No, I barely play Pogo, dude.
It's like, just get shinies every day.
It's like 20, 30 minutes. I missed out coughing. I missed coughing last event. That was really bad.
Coughing.
I got Ekans. Did you see the One Piece hat Pikachu?
Yes.
Yeah. I got the shiny one of that.
Hold up.
Oh, nice.
There's like a One Piece Pikachu, like a Luffy looking Pikachu.
Mm-hmm. It just came out for only like a week or something like that, and it was
like,
super
is this like a plush or something?
No, it's on Pokemon Go.
It's on Pokemon Go.
It has a straw hat.
Yeah.
It's literally, it was announced to respect Oda and what the One Piece community did back in Japan when the earthquakes or like tsunamis or something happened from 2 years ago. And they're like, we want to get back to you, so we want to make this Pikachu have this special hat. And everyone's like, no way. And so I tried really hard to go get a shiny one of it, and it took me like 3 days.
That's pretty sick.
Look at that boy. And you can barely see because of the glare.
Glare.
But back on the championship points.
Oh, there we go.
That's super lit.
Yeah, it's a female.
I'm okay with it being at 500. I like 550 better. That's just like a personal thing. Like
I honestly don't think they should have halfway between 100 points. I think that's weird, and I think that's a little bit extra. I don't care that it's at what. I don't really care what it's at, honestly. I'm gonna travel to whatever tournaments I'm gonna go to, regardless, whether they be across the ocean or in my backyard. It doesn't really matter where I go. I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna try to win, or I'm gonna do whatever I can for whoever I'm playing with. So it's not really a big deal. As long as I reach the points, it doesn't matter. And even if I don't, it's definitely my fault, because they literally just opened the door for everybody to get points however they wanted to. They could front load the back of the year, or they could, they could front load and during the front of the year, or grab it all at the end. I could make a run at the end, like starting in January after having not played the entire first semester of Pokemon, I guess, if you want to look at it like that. I mean, they've kind of opened it up for everybody, and I think I'm more appreciative of that.
100%. Like, I hated the quarter system because, like, I had a rough quarter 3. I was on par, like, for my
Wait. You know we still have quarters, right?
We have quarters,
of.
but, like,
It's best finish limit, though, for cups and challenges.
No. It's not, like, officially out there. I'm
No, it is.
Sure.
It is now. They actually posted it.
We have quarters because I saw the seasons.
Well, that's
only for League Cup.
That's for like stipend stuff, but that's only for that, from what I was told. But everything else, it says for the whole year, like on the. I wish I could find the link.
It says your best finish limit of 8 for the season.
For the season, and that's for cups and challenges.
Okay, that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they combine them again?
Yeah.
No, they're not combined. It's eight. It's 8 best challenges, 8 best cups, 6 best regionals.
Give me a month.
Right. Well, no, and that's it. Like Jesse was saying that, he had a bad third quarter, and there were like second quarter last year, I won 2 cups and then got a second place. Well, that second place that got scratched because I got 2 wins. I mean, so now it's like you could get it done in a month, Russ. Like you could just legitimately do that, take the whole rest of the year off. I mean, that's how they've got it set up. So
Like,
it's
literally,
good. It's good for some people, but yeah, I'm gonna go to my regionals just like Mike said. I'm gonna go have fun. I've met the most awesome people over the last 2.5 years of me playing. I love traveling, going, different places, hanging out in Daytona with Mike,
Hey, that was.
and that was a super blast. But yeah, so just like go have fun, play some Pokemon, drink with some friends. I mean that's what it's really all
Enjoy
about.
yourself.
And if they want to do 500 point, for a championship, then yeah, let's everybody go.
Yeah, because like for me, like my closest cup is an hour away. After that, my closest cup is 3 hours away. I'm having to travel no matter what I do. My closest regional is Dallas, that's 3 hours away, and the next one after that is 10 hours away, which is Knoxville.
That's crazy.
Like regionals are a challenge for me to get to, especially with working 40-hour job, like barely scraping by on bills. Like it's rough. I like that there's no quarter finish limits and it's just a open 8 finish limit. Like it's less stressful. And it lets me enjoy the game again, because after quarter 3 last season, when I just had a rough one, it's like, okay, I'm not making my invite. What am I doing? And I stopped enjoying the game for a little bit. I like how it is now. I feel like you're never going to make everyone happy. That's just facts.
That's
But
facts.
I feel like 500 is fine. 550 would have been ideal in my mind. You wouldn't have been able to get your invite strictly off of locals.
I don't think you can do that anyway, honestly. There's only one person who's ever done it.
It's
Bet.
possible.
Bet.
It's possible.
It's
Bet.
possible, not plausible.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, you just messed up. Russ is getting it now. Russ is not gonna get. He's doing it.
Russ,
Cup challenges only.
Hey, Russ. Right now, you cannot leave the DMV area and make your world's invite.
What you talking about?
I mean, you have to stay in the whatever area you live in and get your world's invite.
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
What are we betting?
Yeah, you have to make it worth it.
Of
right,
course, I'm gonna make it worth it. You don't get to travel outside of your.
All right, let's say I make top 8 twice.
What's
How much do you get for making top 8? $750?
Yeah.
All right, give me $1,500 bet. Let's do that. You want me to not travel? I'm cool with not traveling. I'll do it on cups.
You know what? I can't match that. I gotta win another. I gotta top 4 another
I
tournament.
gotta get you another top 4 before you can match that. Oh man.
At least they paid you for Santa Clara. People at Nationals are still like, where's my NIC money?
Oh yeah, like.
Doesn't
I'm
Kieran
kinda
not
glad
have his
about
money
that,
from like
though.
2 or 3 years ago?
No, don't even get me started.
I scooped out of day 2 internets because I wanted to give a friend their invite, which I shouldn't have done because I was in the stipend range for this year. But nevertheless, I don't really care.
1,000%. I would have done the same thing, and I wouldn't care about your stipend.
Yep.
Homies are forever.
Homies are forever.
Homies are forever, bro.
Yeah.
Homies are forever.
If
And,
I did it to my friend, I wish he would deck me afterwards. Just punch me in the face as soon as we leave the venue. If I ever did that to my boy, I was like, that's. Like even when like we're in a tournament and like we're all like, oh, we're about to make top 8, especially with the Cali boys because less players over there, so they all end up playing each other a lot going into day 2. It's a lot of like we can ID and we can really hope we both win the last round, or we can just play this out and just get to it, you know. And if you're homies, you just play it out.
I mean, we played it out regardless, and I 2-0'd him. But
Yeah.
Wow. Flexing.
I gave him the dub anyway because it's better for him to have the guaranteed dub than for me to ID him and then impossibly lose, and he has no shot at all.
Mm-hmm. Have them pay for your travels. Easy. They're just tipping.
I'm a huge proponent of scooping on homies. Like, your friends
Hey
need it.
Mike, by the way, I forgot to bring this to NIAC, man.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. I got it bring it for Worlds. Bring it for Worlds, Arkansas Cup. There you go.
Oh, thanks. I'll have a fat drink out of that thing.
Nice.
So there
Maybe
any...
Russ will be there. Russ has the link on all the good beers.
It's not bad.
I need to buy Russ a beer.
I'm so disappointed I'm not going to be in DC.
Russ owes me a beer.
Well, I'll buy Russ a beer and he can buy you one, I guess.
Seems like fair. Seems
Change
fair.
command.
Russ also owes me games in DC deck building. He's supposed to
Yes,
keep on
Oh, I might be playing Tord and Ultimate in Smash.
I saw
are
that.
you actually like good at Smash?
I used to be one of the best Peach in the world in Super Smash Bros. Melee, like in like 2007,
You should play
2008.
Nice.
Play with
My ass,
Jalen.
Daddy.
He's a memer. He plays D2D.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he's
Yeah,
dumb
that won't be
good.
fun for him. I actually I keep up with competitive play. I just don't play. I just sit down and I study all of it.
Like I don't.
That's why there's a huge theory I have behind active skill and strategic intelligence and how it can translate from one card game to another, or video games, or skills in life. And so I
absolutely.
wholeheartedly believe in that. Is people that are successful in one thing, as long as it doesn't require any physical talent that puts you over the edge of another, can be successful in another thing. So it's oh, you're Diamond 1 in League. Why are you bad at Pokemon? And then they're like, oh, because this is that. And I was like, you're just not you're not correctly you're not computing it and translating it one to another to a transitive property.
Yeah, I switched over to Dragon Ball for a little bit from Pokemon, and I instantly became one of the top in the state. Actually one of the top in the South. And
Nice.
every tournament I hit, it was I'm making top cut, I'm winning tournaments. It's super easy, and it was just because I had other card game background in a competitive aspect.
That's what it was like playing Magic. I all the time I get into this Pokemon phase where I just don't want to play Pokemon, and I'll just go play Magic. Then just top 4 F&M or something like that with a crappy deck.
I'm a strong believer, if you're in a rut in a card game, pick up another card game for a little bit. Even if it's a couple weeks, you will come back out of that rut.
So before I started playing Pokemon, the only card game I played, I used to play No Limit Texas Hold'em. I would go, I was working in Oklahoma, I'd go to the casinos and just play some cards. And it's funny that somebody one time had mentioned when I was playing them that they couldn't tell what I had in my hand. They're like, I don't know if you're fixing to end me to one or what's happening. I kind of took that skill, that poker face, just couldn't tell what I had in my hands, So, yeah, even though it's not it's not Dragon Ball.
It matters so little in this game because you can't do anything in your opponent's turn.
You can't do anything about it. If I have the end, it doesn't matter anyway. I could just show it to you and be like, guess what? You're fixing me at the end.
I had a judge call me on Yu-Gi-Oh back when I played a lot. I guessed my opponent's entire hand based off of his mannerisms and what he was doing. So he drew for his turn, he's taking forever to play, and I was like, will you set your bottomless that you more likely just drew and play your Cyber Dragon already? And he was just like, Judge, he can see my hand. And I was like, no, Judge, he's just an idiot. And it was Yu-Gi-Oh, so I'm not even joking. I probably said verbatim "idiot" because everyone in Yu-Gi-Oh is ready to sprawl at all times.
I love my local Yu-Gi-Oh players; they're the best.
Oh, so ignorant. It's the worst community, dude. Then I came over to Pokemon. I was just as hostile. So people were super nice to me, and they're like, "Hey, man, it's your deck." I was like, "Don't look at my deck. Stop touching my stuff. Stop trying to cheat." And then I realized they're not like that.
That's actually where I came from. I came from Yu-Gi-Oh. I came during Dino Rabbit format, and I was, so thankful to be out of that.
Dino Rabbit? Oh, that was a while back, man. Do you remember? Do you remember
with Jirax and stuff?
Do I what?
With that Jirax and stuff?
Yeah.
That's Jalen. That's Jalen's format.
You rescue Rabbit into the homies, and then you make the I forgot what they're called. The Black XYZ cards. They're scary.
Yeah. Once I had to pay $180 for a God, what was it? Tour guide. I was done with that game. And you needed 3.
I bought 3 Dark Arms for $250 a piece.
Oof.
And they won me 9 tournaments in a row. And then I sold them all. It was all worth it. No problem. Good investment. But yeah, when people complain about the price of this card game, I get
I instantly remember back to the days of Yu-Gi-Oh. It's like, this is okay. I can justify.
Wow. Why is Shaman $70? I was like, yeah, it's just 70. You need 3. It doesn't rotate for 2 years. That's crazy. Yu-Gi-Oh, our ban list changes 2 months. We'll lose it right there.
I remember when Shaman was $70 and I had 2 pages full of them in my binder. I was like, I don't care.
You guys are balling out. I came in this game as my first card game. I had to see the expense of Magic first.
Oh,
See,
that's
Magic's
another
a different
world.
thing.
Yeah, that's a lifestyle. For the rich and the not famous.
I've seen some of these people that come through with their legacy decks, and I'm just like, yeah, that's a nice whole card you got there. I'm pretty sure you could have done something else with your life other than collect these 75 cards.
I used to think that, and eventually I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna judge. I was like, you're driving your 2002 Honda Civic, killing it. Your whole deck blinged out. Dude, just do you, man. That's what I mean. You can literally sell your deck and buy a brand new car.
Easy.
That's just the legacy decks. That's not even the vintage decks.
Oh yeah, vintage.
Have you heard of like the Eternal Weekend? Like they have in Magic, like they have $30,000 decks, and like
That's
there's
crazy.
police like everywhere.
That's
Because like
crazy.
if your deck gets stolen, it's just over for.
Yeah, like,
And like that's $30,000 like non-foil.
like that's a down payment on a house here. Like easy.
The last time I was at a casino, I was playing blackjack with my girl at the time, and this dude rolled up next to us, super high roller. He put 25 grand on 2 hands back to back, so 50 grand total. He threw it on the table. We had to sit there, like they had to call over 2 head security, something like that. And then when they showed up, he goes, "Hey, what up, Brandon and Ben?" Like he like knew them all by name, and I was like, "This guy, bro." Like this man.
Dang.
He one hand won, the other one lost. He came out and he flopped. He spit out the 2 8s and he decided to split them. And I was losing my mind. He lost both, so he's dropped down, sat down 50, lost one hand, got back the other 50. So split them both. We did a round. Goes around, lost. He goes, "Well, sometimes that happens." I looked at my girl. I was like, "Let's get out of here." I was like, "I ain't trying to see this no more." He acted like nothing happened. Like someone just like, I don't know, like someone tripped him. Like he might have just tripped coming off the steps. Like, oh snap! Like, oh that.
That was one of those trips where you catch yourself.
That's a year's salary.
I don't know. I was up $800, so I thought I was on top of the world. And then I did that, and I was like, let's cash out right now. Let's cash out. I'm not trying to see that.
You guys are high ballers. I went to the casino in when we were at Nats, I believe. There was one in Ohio, and I borrowed $100 from one of my sponsors. And so I sat down at the table because I had never gambled before. So he takes the $100 bill.
It's a weird
puts it in
experience, right? Not to cut you off. It's like when you're gambling, it's like you feel like a like how do you say like a deviant.
like bro, like you couldn't tell me that like this wasn't gonna be fun until I dropped the $100 bill on the table. He puts it through the glass thing and it's gone. And I was like, oh snap.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You're
I was
done.
like, oh wait a second. I don't get to like tell you how much I want to like put in there, or just like then they just like here's the chips, bro, play. And I was like, oh snap, this is a whole other world.
How do you want your chips is my favorite thing to hear.
So lo and behold, I go up $40, give my sponsor back the $100 that that he gave me. He throws it on this table as soon as I give it to him, and it's gone. Like he lost it, and I was like, "Wait a second, what?" I was like, "You just blew $100 like that?" And he was like, "Yeah, bro, it's all good." And I was like, "Bro, we need to get out of here." And plus, this is the morning after he stayed there the entire night.
Oh yeah.
I've had
Not
one of
me.
them nights. I can't lie.
So I was just like, no way. I can't do this.
We got $5 blackjack here, and oof.
I was gonna say you live right down the street from like freaking casino.
I have. Shreveport is literally like the Las Vegas of the South. You can't convince me otherwise. Like we have 6 or 7 casinos here.
You're from Louisiana?
Yep.
Why did you ask me to do this stream? You know I'm an Arkansas kid.
I don't know, Shreveport, according to Andy Gray, is just budget Arkansas. Well, Shreveport is budget Arkansas. That's what he says.
Okay, I guess that's fair. So I assume that you're a Hogs fan and not a Tigers fan?
I'm a no college football fan.
Let's go.
He's a hockey fan, believe it or not.
100% about hockey.
Do you guys even have a hockey team?
We do, actually. We have the Shreveport Mudbugs. What's up?
I wouldn't have said that out loud. I would have held that one real close to the hip, bro.
I got jerseys and everything. That's my life.
Jesus. Let's get back to the world's discussion.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, y'all got any closing thoughts on this? Or?
So, yeah, Ardent Saga.
The blue-yellow deck in Argent Saga is gas.
I was actually curious about the game.
Nothing about that game is gas.
You play?
Oh.
I was wanting to pick it up so bad just as a side game because our locals is pushing it now.
It's actually really fun and it's low-key cheap.
Final Fantasy, baby.
We have 0 Final Fantasy players here, though. We had 10 in the tournament.
Game's dead, bro. Let's put a stake in it, bro.
It just doubled its attendance at like its big tournament.
So from what, 2
Just
to
put
4?
the nail in the coffin, bro.
Nah, it's actually so fun, bro.
It probably is. It looks fun. The cars look cool. But nobody's playing Force of Will.
That card is.
I'm invested in Pokemon. I can't do anything else. I don't have time for anything else.
I feel that.
I work too much and got the kid, so.
100% feel that.
All right, so closing thoughts. What's up?
If you're not teching for Shedinja, you're making a mistake.
Ooh, bold statement, but-
Actually, I'm gonna piggyback on that. If you're not teching for Shedinja, you're trying to win worlds. Okay, no cap though, no cap. You should not be truly worried about Shedinja because most of your decks are already playing techs for it on accident. Like if you're playing you can win Shedinja or decently at best tie it. So because they can't kill your Mew. Well, at least they can't efficiently kill your Mew. So you just beat them. Or
just drop a Wondrous Labyrinth.
Ooh.
They have Fava.
Yeah, but not at the end of the game.
They have Fava forever.
Yeah.
Resource management.
Yeah, but if you have Wondrous Labyrinth, they're not going to be able to resource management. So.
If you play Aerodactyl GX, they have to pay 2 energy to attack with Guru, so they lose.
That's true too. He doesn't need Wondrous Labyrinth.
That is also true.
I'm telling you, this deck auto wins everything as long as it's
That's
set up.
funny.
There's no.
I just
no
feel
like
discussion.
That's what got me wanting to test against it.
I just want to see Russell in the finals now,
setting
for
up
real.
against Shedinja.
I'm scared. Like, someone already told me about it. They're like, if you play day 1, the list is going to be out on stream. I was like, why? And they're like, because if you make it anywhere near 3-0, they're going to put you on stream because they want to show off Aerodactyl.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt.
And then I'm just going to cry, and hopefully I have like a little panic. I'll have like a little panic attack. I'll fake one and see if they
Can't
can just.
you decline being on stream if you take like a loss or something?
No, you can't.
No, if they want you on stream.
Period. That's it. You're on stream.
High key, if you can afford the loss, I would just draw pass, not play the deck. Don't give them material.
No way,
I
man.
mean-
He's gonna go. Russ wants to go 4-0.
If you don't want your list leaked, if you don't care, then go for it.
I'll be honest. Every time I played on stream, it's been very enjoy the show, boys. Like it's not like some people get nervous. I go up there like, all right, I'm about to show you what the kid can do. It's like turn it up, turn the headset up.
All right, I've never been on
I've
stream.
never
What-
been on stream.
How is that? Like, how bad is that? Like white noise.
Frustrating. Somewhat annoying. I sing a lot to entertain my opponent.
That's cool. I
Like,
can
they'll
dig
be
Can
it.
you hear each
They'll be
other?
like- Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. They'll be like, I'll ultra ball, and I'll be like, what are you getting, dog? Are you getting that card? Are you thinking about that? And he's just like, I was thinking of that, and I was like, that's not the good play, bro. And then they'll actually be like, man, stop. Let me, hey man, let me think, dude. I was like, now I'm thinking it's not the right play. And I was like, all right.
So
it's
you're
not.
like the Reggie Miller of like Pokemon.
No, I'll legit hit him with. I'll be like, you should get that card. And they're like, I was like, would I lie to you? When do I lie, though? I was like, when do I lie? I say mean things. I don't lie though. I was like, get that
Funny.
funny.
The ironic thing is that I had never been on stream at any other regional until Santa Clara, and it wasn't even like a live stream. They only had a stream there for the people who were there, and I was on that stream like 3 times.
Shout out to Jackson Paulson who streamed that from his cell phone. That did
Jackson
happen.
Paulson streamed Santa Clara from his cell phone.
That was so ghetto.
I think he did it for like 1 or 2 rounds. He just like showed the screen. It was bad, but
Oh, is that the one where Danny and the other guy draw past on each other?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure that was Santa Clara. Because they're like, oh, you're playing Shedinja, I'm not going to let you win. And so he just like sat there and drew past them and they tied. I'd be like, dude, if that happened and my opponent knew I was doing that and we like continued it on, I would honestly like sit there and have a discussion about like what they want to do with their life. And like, why we're here. I'm like, all right. Draw, like, draw. So you're a religious man, Danny? What's going on, dog? Let me get inside the altar of mine.
I mean, the way he's been talking lately, he's kind of reached some form of Zen. So, I mean, maybe it's true.
Danny has changed a lot, I will say that, over the past like year and a half. Even
He's all about this path of loving himself. So, maybe he's getting enlightened.
He's still trash at Ultimate. I don't care. Tell him come get it whenever he wants. Incineroar hands.
all right.
No,
So,
why are you putting with that terrible character?
all right. So now we got.
to be
Final-
funny.
Now that we got final thoughts out of the way, any shout outs or anything else y'all want to say?
All
All right, I'll go first.
Shout out to my mom. You know, she loves me. Shout out to my future sponsor. Shout out to the people that I'm about to start writing articles for. I cannot leak their names yet.
Oh, so you have a sponsor and you have somebody but you can't leak yet.
I can't leak.
They're picking up a bunch of people, and the person who's sponsoring them all doesn't know how to use WordPress. He's figuring it out now.
I don't know who. I don't think we're talking about the same person. But
Absolutely, I know who it is. I know who it is. Come on, bro. What? I got sources, bro. I got sources.
We might not be talking about the same thing.
Okay. Either way.
Either way, we'll talk. Me and you will talk after this. I mean, me and Clayton are going to talk after this anyway, but me and you will talk after this. Shout out to my fiance who allows me to do these things and not be home without killing me. And shout out to the homies for sure. The homies are homies over, garden tools.
I like that.
Yeah. Shout out to my teammates at Team Reaper TCG, my testing partners for Worlds, Kenny Bishop and Roger Price. Check out our YouTube channel, will be on our YouTube channel, so I guess you're already checking it out. That was kind of a worthless plug, wasn't it?
Shameless plug, not worthless.
No, but thank you, Mike and Russell, especially for coming and hanging out and stuff. And so shout out to you guys. And also, Russ is fixing to do it, but I got the hat on. Hat on.
Yeah, let's go.
This is a shout out to you, bro. Thanks for respecting us to actually come and do this for you, bro.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks, hey, and Jesse, thanks for doing this, and I hope we continue to do this. I love doing the ReaperCast and everything, and I think Jesse's a really good host. So,
facts. Jesse's broken host.
Oh, y'all are the sweetest.
What you got, Russell?
Shout out to my sponsors, flipsidegaming.com. You can use the promo code SAVEPC to take off 10% from your order. Shout out to Ultimate Guard. They also sponsor us. Shout out to all of our subscribers over at someonespc.com. We love you guys if you're an Elite PC member. If you're not an Elite PC member, we still love you. It's just you don't get to see some of the stuff that we get to post out, so that's kind of awkward. Shout out to Someone's PC. They are the homies. They are some of the real ones in the community. I'd say they're very real. Shout out to the top players in this game being very clicky. Shout out to the community and, for expecting so much effort from people and giving nothing in return. Shout out to, what do I say? I don't know.
No cards?
Shout out to the rotation. I really love it.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm about that one.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Shout out Aerodactyl, Fossil Boys.
Shout out to Russell LaParre. He's the realest person in the game. Please
Absolute.
Nah.
Please don't let anybody lie to you. Russell,
I gotta shout out. Go ahead.
Russell is my personal HR. I've gone to see him on personal issues. He takes care of me, guys. He's a therapist. He is not licensed or qualified. But
honestly, if you mess up, come hit me up because I'm pretty sure I know the best way to get out of it. I called someone a not so nice name in a not so nice environment, and it was all right. It all worked out.
Oh man,
Russell actually helped me fix my credit.
That's kind of sad.
Work on that.
It's a cap. It didn't happen, but if I actually,
I went to 750 after visiting Russ.
I wish I could get back to 750.
My credit score is above 900 now that I went to see the Russ firm.
Nice.
That's the play. Clayton, you have one more shout out?
I gotta shout out Chris Weber real quick for helping me do the League Cups and everything when we do the top 8, top 4, and stream the matches and stuff that we put on YouTube and we do the commentary. So I just want to shout him out real quick. He does a really good job with that too. So, but yeah, that's it.
All right, rad. I have one. Shout out to Savannah. I love her dearly, and I'm glad she lets me do these things. And also, like Mike, not kill me just for being away for so long.
You have to add that part in there because like these people don't know. They don't know.
Well, like Savannah, she's.
I'm glad I don't know.
I'm glad I don't know either.
I don't want to get held down.
Your girlfriend lives miles away from you. Mine lives like 2 feet from me. Like she can hear me speaking now. Like low key, there's like probably a bug in this room, and there's probably a bug in my work clothes. There's probably a bug in my AirPods. Like it's something somewhere you cannot escape. It's the abyss, bro.
Guaranteed, Savannah's asleep in the bed, like in the room right behind me. 100%. She's chilling. But shout out to her. Shout out to Justin for being one of the homies too. Genuinely love the guy, and he helps me get through a lot of things. Catch me on Twitch Monday through Thursday, or Monday through Wednesday at 7 o'clock usually. I'm gonna pick that back up. I'm gonna be starting real life deck testing, kind of like Tricky Gym, but it's my own thing, I guess, as well.
Are you testing online or are you tabletopping?
Tabletopping.
Nice.
Yeah, like Clayton. Actually, shout out to Clayton for that. He helped me buy the rig to be able to do it.
I appreciate that. That's dope.
Yeah.
Clayton's out here doing God's work.
Honestly, Clayton has helped me out of so many things. Like, dude,
I'm just doing it all for fun, guys.
He's doing the produce work.
Team Reapers for fun. It's all for fun.
Shout out to my other teammates in Team Reaper, and honestly, I don't know where I'd be without y'all. All right, and I think we're going to put a button on it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.